From our 22 News Broadcast Center, this is a special Your Local Election Headquarters edition of 22 News in Focus. Today, an in-depth look at Ballot Question 1.
Thanks for joining us for 22 News in Focus. I'm Ciara Speller. In 2012, Massachusetts voters approved a referendum known as the right to repair. That law guarantees that independent repair shops have the same access as auto dealerships to vehicle computer information used for diagnosis and repair. An updated version is on the ballot again in November. And today on 22 News in Focus, we'll have two separate half-hour programs dedicated to Ballot Question 1, the right to repair. Our first guest is Tommy Hickey. He's the director of the Massachusetts Right to Repair Coalition, or Yes on One. And in the second half hour, directly after this program, we'll have Connor Units, spokesperson for the Coalition for Safe and Secure Data, or No on One. So thank you, Mr. Hickey, for being on the program today.
Thanks for having me.
We want to start with some background on your organization and the ballot question. What is the Right to Repair Coalition?
So we are a coalition of 1,600 independent repair shops here in Massachusetts. We represent the 40,000 jobs in the aftermarket here in Massachusetts, and we were the same coalition that passed the 2012 initiative at 86%, which is the highest passing ballot initiative in Massachusetts history.
And so tell us, go ahead.
To update the law, we've passed this, are working on passing this initiative because technology has changed. The old 2012 law had a carve-out for any wireless communication system. The system is called telematics. In this year, 2020, 90% of new cars will have this telematics system, this wireless capabilities, cutting out independent repair shops and owners. This ballot initiative would close that loophole by giving car owners direct access to their wireless diagnostic and repair information, making them the gatekeeper of this information, because we as a coalition believe if you bought the car, you should have all the information necessary to fix it.
And I want to have you touch on who the members of the coalition are.
So we're 1,600 independent repair shops. That's your neighborhood, your local shop. We're parts stores. We're AutoZone, O'Reilly Parts. We're distributors, warehouse distributors, pretty much the entire aftermarket. The aftermarket in Massachusetts is a focal point in controlling pricing. You have two sets of parts when you get into fixing cars. You have your OEM parts and you have your aftermarket parts. So we really feel like this is an aftermarket initiative to make sure that consumers continue to have their car fixed where they want.
And for those who maybe aren't familiar with this, who supports voting yes on question 1?
So it's the independent repair shop, but it's the owner. We've had over 2,000 people reach out to us just since this initiative started to get lawn signs to support this question for their own private properties, for their lawns, for their doors. People understand that going to the dealership is 30% more expensive than going to a local business, going to a local shop that some people have been getting their cars fixed for 20, 30, sometimes even more than that, and we want to continue to do so. Let alone the price, it's convenience. People like going to their local business. It's down the street, usually have a relationship with someone, and technology shouldn't take away that choice. Remember what Massachusetts voted for in 2012, level playing field, making sure that independent repair shops got all the necessary information to fix their car. Technology shouldn't take that away.
And I want to ask you, where does your funding come from?
So we've had hundreds of independent repair shops give to this initiative, but we have funds from AutoZone, O'Reilly Parts, consumers have even pitched in. Again, this is the whole aftermarket, 40,000 jobs here on the line in Massachusetts, and everyone has pitched in. Due to COVID, those who haven't pitched in financially have put sign locations. We have 1,600 independent repair shops. We have handouts that we're giving out. It's really a team effort in the aftermarket.
Yeah, and can I have you talk a little bit about how COVID has impacted, the message that you're trying to get out there?
Yeah, I think we're really a boots on the ground campaign. Like I said, with the number of employees that we have in the aftermarket, the number of folks involved in this, we weren't really able to get out to the stop and shops, to the malls, and normal campaigns where you're out and about in independent repair shops. You're learning, you're talking to your shop owner. So it's been a little bit challenging, and it's become more of a media and an online campaign. But we do feel like consumers are starting to understand what this ballot initiative is about, and that's about getting your car fixed today and getting your car fixed tomorrow, and protecting what you voted for in 2012.
Yeah, and can I have you explain what the original right to repair law included in 2012 and follow up with how is the new ballot question different?
So the 2012 law was about mandating that car manufacturers give the same diagnostic and repair information to independent repair shops that they give to their franchise dealers. What was happening is that independent repair shops weren't getting all the necessary information to make the full repair. So they were forced to send cars to the dealership, meaning that consumers had to pay more, they had to go twice, and the independent repair shop missed out on business. So fast forward 7 years, technology has obviously evolved. Your car is now a computer on wheels. We're starting to get into these model year 2019, 2020 cars, and there's wireless codes in there, wireless information, wireless firewalls that independent repairers don't have access to because it was not covered under the 2013 Right to Repair law. This initiative would say, hey, the car owner of the information, the car owner should get that information directly, making them the gatekeeper of this information. This ballot initiative would give direct access to the car owner and allow them to share their diagnostic or repair information that's generated by this wireless system to an independent repair or a dealer of their choice.
All right, thank you so much. And after a short break, we'll be discussing the details contained in Ballot Question 1. You're watching 22 News in Focus. Welcome back to 22 News in Focus. We're discussing voting yes on Ballot Question 1 on motor vehicle mechanical data sharing. We'll be talking with the opposing side to this question directly after the program. But let's discuss some of the details included in this ballot question. This proposed law would require that motor vehicle owners and independent repair facilities be provided with expanded access to mechanical data related to vehicle maintenance and repair. A yes vote would provide motor vehicle owners and independent repair facilities with expanded access to wirelessly transmitted mechanical data related to their vehicle's maintenance and repair. So we have Tommy Hickey joining us again right now, and I want to ask you, what exact information would be accessible through this mechanical data?
There would be any wireless diagnostic and repair information. I think what you'll hear from the car manufacturers is that this is about personal information and GPS data. But I urge voters to look at the language, look at the Attorney General summary. You'll see this is about mechanical information necessary to diagnose, maintain, and repair the car. That is not GPS information, and then it's not personal information. Right now, you plug into an OBD port and you diagnose a car. The OBD port is now becoming wireless. We want all that wireless information generated by this telematics system to go directly to the owner and allow them to make that decision on where that repair information goes.
All right, Tommy, and what about vehicle owners' personal information and other safety risks? I know right now that there are ads out there suggesting that sexual predators could use the data to stalk their victims. Domestic violence advocates agree with that. So what would you say?
There are no domestic advocates that agree with this. I think there was a Jane Doe Association that thought this was about GPS information because they were misinformed that there was a 2014 piece of legislation that the car manufacturers always point to. This is not this legislation. Once the Jane Doe organization found out that this was just mechanical information to fix a car, they took back their statement. They've evolved, and they have not taken a position on this because this isn't about domestic violence. It's a very serious issue. We fix cars for a living, and we want updated technology, just as the car dealers and car manufacturers are using right now. That's all this is about, and that's all this should be talked about.
All right, thank you for clearing that for our viewers as well. And would this information be susceptible to hacking from outside the business?
It shouldn't be. I mean, I've already touched on this, but car manufacturers are already collecting this information. They're already giving it to car dealers. It's one of those things that a number of cybersecurity experts have touched on this. Ed Davis, former Boston Police Commissioner, Mike Brown, former head of cybersecurity for the Navy, Bruce Schneier teaches MIT, cybersecurity at MIT. The Security Ledger is some of the biggest cybersecurity experts here in Massachusetts have reviewed this question. This is about an update to a law that was already voted on. This is about diagnostic and repair information. There should be no cybersecurity concerns, and there are framework and there are encryption that can make this possible to be done in a safe and secure way, just as the language suggests.
And again, let's just say that this is the first time somebody's hearing about yes on one. How do you respond to concerns that a hacker could actually get their information?
I would say the car manufacturers are called upon to create this in a safe and secure way. Remember, they're already doing this. This is already a system in place to collect this information and give it to their dealerships. This can be done in a safe and secure way. We anticipate and expect this to be done in a safe and secure way. This is diagnostic and repair information. With all the technology that's going on out there, this is one of those examples that shouldn't be used as a scare tactic. This is an update to a law we already voted on. This is about getting your car fixed and updating that for new technologies.
And I want to ask you, how would the passage of this law impact independent automotive repair businesses? It's a question a lot of people are wondering.
It would allow them to evolve with the car. I mean, I think it's important for people to understand that car manufacturers, car dealers, independent repairers are in a competitive market. If you don't have up-to-date technology in a competitive market, you lose. Car manufacturers do not want a level playing field. They're circumventing the 2013 law using this wireless technology. If they don't have up-to-date technology, people will be forced to the dealership. So not only will this hurt consumers who have to pay more at expensive dealerships, but independent repair shops will slowly but surely go out of business as they move to this wireless system that's not covered under the law. Remember what happened before 2012. Independent repairers couldn't make full repairs on cars. They were sending cars to the dealership. They were slowly but surely going under. And we passed the 2012 law. We need to uphold that law to cover this new technology that, again, is in 90% of 2020 vehicles moving forward.
Yeah, again, so just touch on how this would be beneficial for consumers.
It would allow them more choice. It would give them direct access to this diagnostic repair information. I think there's always a cat and mouse game with car manufacturers. They want the independent repairers to be at the mercy of them. We think that's inherently wrong. They created a closed system. And what we're asking for in this ballot initiative, listen, you bought the ar, you should get all the information necessary to fix it. You should choose where that information goes. We have an informed consumer. It allows them to shop around for price. And at the end of the day, we do believe that if you bought the car, you should get that information.
Yeah, and so election day quickly approaching, not much time to really clarify what your message is. So what if this doesn't pass? What are you doing to make sure that consumers out there know exactly what your message is about?
This is about protecting your choice, protecting what you voted for in 2012. I think it's important for voters to know that if you vote no on this, car manufacturers will still collect this information. They'll still disseminate this information. They will still give it to their dealerships. But if you vote yes on this, you will get access to that information. You empower yourself as a car owner to get all the information necessary to fix your car. That allows you more choice, that allows you better pricing, and frankly, it allows you more flexibility when you bought the car. When you buy a car, it's the first, second most expensive purchase that people make in their lifetime. So not having the ability to find out what's going on in your car and not having the ability to get that information to fix your car would be frustrating. And having an entity like the car manufacturers who have a monetary interest in not giving independent repair shops and not having a competitive market to allow them just solely to have that information, have a monopoly on that repair market, is a bad thing for a consumer. It's a bad thing for local business.
Yeah, and earlier you touched on social media. This is a world we're living in where social media is so powerful. What are you doing on social media to try to promote, your words and your message?
We're on social media. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. Our messaging is pretty clear. This is a law that is already voted on, and we want to make sure that you protect your choice. 20 years ago, we didn't even have Facebook. You can see where the world is going. Headphones don't have cords anymore. You have email versus mail, the library, the internet. I mean, there's all kinds of examples. We're becoming a wireless society. And it's important for people to know what their car is collecting, but it's more important to know what's going to happen when you use all this technology and don't allow the owner inside that information system. So this ballot initiative is a first step in a huge fight of allowing a consumer to know what's being collected and how they can use that information correctly to save them money on their car repairs.
All right, and we'll continue our conversation after the break. You're watching 22 News in Focus. Thanks for joining us back here on 22 News in Focus. Today we're discussing voting yes on ballot question 1 on motor vehicle mechanical data sharing. We'll learn about the opposing viewpoint to this question directly after the program, but we want to jump right in right here. We're going to discuss the differences between the California proposal in 2014 and this current ballot question, Tommy.
Sure. So the California piece from 2014, not only was it 6 years ago, but it actually specified that this was about geolocation, was about access to third parties, direct access to third parties. And that's not this piece. This piece limits this to mechanical information necessary to diagnose, maintain, and repair the car. You do not need GPS information. You do not need personal information to make a repair for a car. We're a coalition that fixes cars for a living. So getting all the information necessary to fix that car and getting in the owner's hands is just a good public policy.
And why do you believe that this ballot question is important?
Because the future of fixing cars is wireless. We now have cars on the road, 2020 cars that your local independent repair shop can't fix, and that is only going to get worse as they start to limit access to the OBD port and independent repairs aren't able to fix your car. I think we all know what happens to a market when competition goes away. So consumers will be forced into dealerships. They'll have to pay more, and your local business will slowly but surely go out of business because they won't be able to fix these new computers on wheels that we call cars.
Yeah, follow-up question now. Why do you believe that vehicle manufacturers are opposed to this initiative?
They now have a monopoly on the repair market. Using this wireless technology, they're now able to circumvent the 2013 right to repair law. This is worth billions of dollars to them if they can continue to control this wireless data. So right now they've cut out their competition, and all cars from 2020 on will be looking to be into their dealerships where they can maximize their profits.
Yeah, and just touching on that quickly, some independent repair businesses are also opposed, saying they already have access to telematics systems and mechanical data.
I'm not sure an independent repairer has quite said that. There have been 2 or 3 independent repairers. Understand that's exactly what the problem is. Car manufacturers are the only entity that collects this information. They can give who they want, they can give it when they want, and they can give it for however much they want. Them promising an independent repair shop or a dealership this information and not the competitor is inherently wrong. And I'm not suggesting that they've done that, but it is a possibility that the car manufacturers can give this to a couple of local businesses and cut out their competition. Remember what the 2012 law, the spirit of the 2012 law offers a level playing field. And we need to make sure there is a level playing field. So now we're saying, not dealers, not independent repair shops. Let's give the owner all their diagnostic repair information. Allow them to make that choice. Allow them to be the gatekeeper and dictate who gets that information.
Right, and can vehicle data be securely transmitted?
It absolutely can. I mean, look at your phone right now. There's banking apps that are securely encrypted. Right now, they're giving this information to dealers. There's, again, a number of cybersecurity experts that have looked into this. Mechanical information can most certainly be encrypted and protected.
Yeah, and you just made the comparison to your cell phone. So again, just stress that to people that you believe that it's no different than the apps that you have on your cell phone with your personal information.
I think there are certain standards, banking standards, fidelity accounts that all have encryption and are all protected from any foreign hackers or any the wrong people, bad actors getting this information. And I expect the same apps and the same protections for mechanical information, diagnostic repair information. Remember, this is just diagnostic repair information that is just the car owner himself, herself. So this isn't one giant platform where everyone can see this giant data. In fact, that's what the car manufacturers are using right now. They're using one cloud. This would be strictly to the car owner itself about diagnostic repair information, nothing more. I'm not sure what a hacker could do that information, but I don't expect it could be hacked as we move forward with the application and the safeguards.
All right, and we want to just do a final review on support for ballot question 1. Yes on 1 for our viewers who might just be joining us right now. Let's give them a recap, all the information we touched on.
In 2012, Massachusetts voted 86% in favor of the right to repair law, leveling the playing field for car repair choice and making sure that you could get your car fixed where you want. Technology has now evolved, and your car is no different. Your car is now a computer on wheels. There was a carve-out in the law for any wireless communications. We need to close that loophole so consumers can continue to get their car fixed where they want today and get their car fixed where tomorrow. We believe as a coalition that if you bought the car, you should have all the information necessary to fix it, and you should control where that information goes. Vote yes on 1 and protect your car repair choice.
And we might have some viewers watching right now that like to learn a little bit more about this. So what are some resources that they have available right now?
We have a Facebook page. We have a Twitter. We're on YouTube. Our website is massrightsrepair.org. If you have any questions, I'm always available for a phone call, and an email. My email address is on our website. It's also in the voter guidebook. So please reach out and ask questions. And please remember that this is all about getting your car fixed.
And Tommy, lastly, I just want to ask you how you got involved.
I was a part of the 2012 grassroots team. I actually started in 2010, 2011 on this 2012 initiative. So I visited every independent repair shop in the state. I talked to these independent repairers. I felt their pain. I felt their frustration as they were trying to get this information to service their customers' cars. So when I found out about the loophole, I really wanted to come back. This is something that's near and dear to my heart. It's something that we passed. We thought we had won. And technology's advanced, and I want to make sure that loophole is closed so independent repairers can continue to have this business and consumers can continue to get their cars fixed what they want.
All right, Tommy Hickey supporting Yes on One. We thank you for being here with us. And we'll have some final words after a short break. You're watching 22 News in Focus. Welcome back to 22 News in Focus. Today, for the last half an hour, we've been talking about Ballot Question 1. That's the Vote Yes perspective for Right to Repair with Tommy Hickey. He's the director of the Massachusetts Right to Repair Coalition. Tommy, we thank you for being here on the program with us and sharing your insight today.
Thanks for having me.
And following this program, we'll be discussing the opposing viewpoint with Connor Units. He's a spokesperson for the Coalition for the Safe and Secure Data, or No on One. Now, if you missed any of this last half an hour, you can watch it in full on our website at wwlp.com. From all of us here at 22 News, we wish you a great day.